One of the things that I think is really important is having the basic ingredients that you need in your house. And some of those ingredients you can find in your spice drawer. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross and this is the Cross Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries. Our grocery budget is $135 per person, and there's two of us here in the household, just my husband and I now that our kids are grown and flown. And so for the last 2 years, our grocery budget has been $270 per month. We're also an allergy family, and I have a chronic illness called reflective sympathetic dystrophy, which when I'm eating a lot of things that have additives and preservatives in it, it can make my body flare up. Being an allergy mom, over the years, I started realizing how many extra additives were added to things like taco seasoning and how easy it is just to make it from scratch without having any extra additives or chemicals or fillers or even sugars. We just recently moved to this house, but in our old house, we did a kitchen remodel based around me being able to have a spice drawer in the kitchen. It was so important to me that I could be able to open up the drawer and see all of the spices that I wanted to use and have them really easy to reach. We got really lucky when we moved into this brand new house to us, but it's actually a 1940s house, and I was able to fit all of my spices in one of the drawers. So instead of them fitting on risers like I had them at the old house, they're just flat in a drawer, but I'm able to see everything, and it's really handy to be able to grab things quickly and put them away. There are 50 different spices and herbs in my drawer. 50, that seems like a lot. But when you're cooking from scratch, it's really handy to have a bunch of different spices, but you don't need that many if you're just starting out. We have a list of my top starter spices on the blog. We will link the blog in the description so you can easily go to it and see the checkoff list. But then other spices, I make sure that I buy them in bulk because we use a lot more of them. Spices and herbs that I use for things like Italian seasoning or making taco seasoning, I make sure that I buy those items in bulk and I store them in glass jars with the metal lid. Most of the time I'll also vacuum seal them so they even last longer. Most of the bulk spices and herbs that I buy, I get either from Amazon or from Azure Standard. I love that both of the places have organic spices that I can get. This is an organic bag of smoked paprika that the only ingredient in it is paprika, which is bell peppers. And I realized that the last time that I purchased this was April of 2022. So it took me almost 4 years to go through an entire 1 pound bag of smoked paprika. But on Amazon right now, I was checking the prices, and if I wanted to get a non-organic paprika, they also had a 4 pound bag that was almost about the same price. But 4 pounds would take me over a decade to go through, and I don't need to store that much. Spices and herbs don't go bad if they're stored properly, but they do lose some of their flavor. I keep a running list of all the spices that I have in the house and any of the ones that I have extra in bulk. So I know that I need to just refill a jar or if I need to purchase it again once a jar gets empty. I honestly only do this once or twice a year, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure that I'm rotating all of the stock and always have what I need on hand. Over the years, we have tried to pare down the ingredients that we have in the house so we can really base it on single ingredient items as much as possible. And the cost of seasonings to get them at the store has just skyrocketed lately. So I like being able to really focus on the quality ingredients I'm bringing in and make my own blends. In our old house, we didn't have any extra room to store anything extra in the kitchen. So I would store the bulk supplies in another room and then just refill the jars whenever I could. But in this kitchen, we actually have a Lazy Susan up in the cupboard. I always call it the roundabout. And that way I have everything all together and I can easily see what needs to be refilled. I try to keep all of my things like baking supplies together in one part of my cabinet, so I know that that is the area that I go to. Having these different workstations really helps organize your kitchen. I just really encourage you to take a few minutes and pull all those spices out and check those expiration dates and see what needs to be used up. The taco seasoning recipe is linked in the description, so you can check that out. And make sure that you're following our Meals and Moments series. I post a video every 2 weeks teaching the different meals that I'm making and some of the cost savings that I'm doing.